Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show here on WKYC Channel 3 in Cleveland and the WKYC Plus app. I'm Adam the Bull, and let me tell you something. Things are going bad for Dylan Gabriel, but are there mental scars he's dealing with as well with this competition, or what was a competition, possibly, with Shedeur Sanders? We'll talk about it today. Mikey.
The Browns have quite the difficult task up front this Sunday trying to stop not just Lamar Jackson, but Derrick Henry, too. Can they do it for a second time this season? We'll tell you in just a few minutes.
Well, the Browns have to play the Ravens on Sunday. A few of you may be there. According to ticket prices, it probably won't be very crowded. So if you don't want to watch the game, we're going to tell you what happens before it happens. Pre-written headlines at the end of the show.
Guys, the offense hasn't looked great, but which non-quarterback is going to be the X factor for this Sunday's game? We'll talk about it a little bit later. Bull.
Mike, you said that they have to do it again. They didn't do it the first time.
They stopped Derrick Henry the first time.
They did stop Derrick Henry the first time, and Lamar Jackson
played an okay game.
Yeah. With Lamar Jackson's injury here, are we thinking that the Browns have a better chance of slowing him down?
Better chance.
The way I answered the YouTube show. No.
No?
No.
Better chance, yes. Will it happen? We'll talk about it in a sec.
All right. Well, what are we getting into first, Mike? Start us off here, because
the mental scars of Dylan Gabriel.
The mental scars. Yeah, I have mental scars because I couldn't remember what we were starting with. So, Dylan Gabriel's in honestly a terrible spot.
Yeah.
And the Browns put him in this position when they drafted Shedeur Sanders. And whatever you feel about Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders, there's nobody neutral on Shedeur Sanders, or very few people. Maybe we are neutral on him. But most people are very passionate one way or the other about Shedeur Sanders. And what that has led to is Dylan Gabriel, who was not, if he were a first-round pick, it would be different. If he were drafted in the third round and they hadn't drafted Shedeur Sanders, it would be different. But he's a mid-round pick, drafted the same year as a player everybody thought would be a first-round pick, and a lot of people are hyped about. And so he's been put in a position. Now, he's played terribly, but I think in any other scenario, we might be willing to be a little more patient with him. And I wonder if all the talk about Shedeur Sanders is getting to him at all. I think it probably has. What say you guys?
It has to on some level, and that's why the Browns have not set him up for success. Because, I talked about it. If you go back to the draft, and I wrote about this after they took Dylan, after Friday night, and I talked to someone who used to work in the building who's still in the NFL who said the Browns need another distraction like they need a hole in the head.
Yeah.
And yet here we are, 24 hours later, they take Shedeur, and what Shedeur's presence, just his presence in the locker room, has now cut the legs out from underneath of Dylan, the one that they clearly wanted, and the one that they went into the draft targeting. Now, you could say he's been terrible. He has been. That's the guy they wanted. That's the guy that they liked. And they haven't been able to support him properly. They took all the veterans out, all the guys that they gave the reps to in training camp, traded both of them out, and now they've made him the starter with Shedeur the backup, where everything Dylan says, remember the stupid entertainers and competitors line, and everything that he says is now, was that a shot at Shedeur?
Right.
And no rookie should have to operate under that kind of microscope. So, no, he hasn't been good. He is a mid-round rookie. That gets overlooked a lot. And he shouldn't even be on the field right now. He should not be playing. And then when they traded Flacco, when they traded Pickett and then they traded Flacco, we all said, oh, well, at least I did. I won't put you guys in this. I said, oh, that shows how much they really like Dylan or how much they really think he's ready.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. Well, no, he's not ready. And it makes trading both of those veterans even more bewildering right now, because the plan was never for Dylan Gabriel to be playing this year, let alone going into his, fourth or fifth start in the middle of November. It just feels like they've botched this quarterback thing from the very start.
Yeah, it has to have a mental impact because he's a human being.
Yeah.
And it's impossible for all the outside noise, which, by the way, Shedeur Sanders has not done almost any of it by himself. It's stuff that we talk about. It's stuff that social media talks about. It's stuff that gets brought into the locker room. Not necessarily anything Shedeur has done to intentionally take away from Dylan, but it's human nature. It happens in everything. If you're the guy that they chose, and whether we agree with whether they took Dylan in the third round, whether he was worth a top 100 pick or not, the Browns made him the 94th overall pick in the draft. We were told that he was their second choice at quarterback, their hand-selected guy. And then he got put in a situation where 36, 24, however many hours after he was selected to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, maybe not forever, but in the immediate future, the next guy up, they take Shedeur Sanders, who is significantly more popular, has a significantly bigger following, has a rabid, crazy, in a good and both bad way, following, that has wanted to see Dylan fail from the get-go so they can get Shedeur into a position. So, yeah, of course it has a mental impact on Dylan. I don't know what kind of impact. I'm not in his head. But it's human nature. Of course it's going to have some kind of impact.
Go ahead, Jason.
I don't think we've never called him a franchise quarterback.
Nobody has.
I don't think they ever looked at him as the franchise quarterback. I think they looked at him as a backup. Now you can say, why would you spend a top 100 pick on a backup quarterback?
That's malpractice in its own right.
When you don't even have a starter and there are so many other holes on the roster, that's fair. Like, that's totally fair. But I don't think they ever looked at him being the guy. I don't think anybody looked at Dylan Gabriel as the guy who's going to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns for the next decade, which is even more why it was a bewildering pick.
And what's funny is this is the best draft overall that the Browns have had in this regime. And yet, I think it's the draft that will lead ultimately to everyone being fired. And that's because drafting Dylan Gabriel in the third round was absurd. And once you did it, drafting Shedeur Sanders in the fifth round made no sense.
Yeah.
Once you did it, if you had not drafted Gabriel in the third round and then drafted Shedeur in the fifth round, fine, no problem.
It'd be a parade in the streets.
No problem at all. But drafting Gabriel was stupid, and then once you drafted Gabriel, drafting Shedeur was stupid. And either you thought as an organization that Dylan Gabriel was a franchise quarterback, or you thought of him as a backup and you wasted a top 100 pick when you have no offensive line, no wide receivers, holes across the board. You can draft a guy in the third round, maybe, that you think is a backup if you are a loaded team. Maybe. I don't even think that makes sense if you only think he's a backup.
At that position, I think it makes sense.
Maybe. I don't agree, but I could live with it if you're good.
Yeah.
When you stink,
Yeah.
when you have a million holes, that is, as one of you said, malpractice, and ultimately is going to lead to their firings. All right, guys, it's hard to get into the nuts and bolts of the games because the Browns are terrible. They're 2-7. They can't play any offense. But we're going to try to do it for at least a couple of minutes here.
We're going to fake it.
What is the X factor for the Browns potentially having success offensively in this game? Mike?
Well, we're taking the quarterback out of the equation for this
Besides
because
the quarterback.
obviously the quarterback
I don't
is
think
the
I would have picked him
X-factor.
anyway, but go ahead.
And we couldn't all pick Quinshon Judkins, so I went with Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
Because, as we
Bold
mentioned
prediction.
in the YouTube show, Jerry Jeudy's coming off his best game of the season against the Jets. He had 12 targets, 6 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. He was targeted on 34.2% of his routes run against the Jets, which was by far the highest number of targeted routes he's run all season. It was also the first time Tommy Rees has been play caller. I believe Tommy Rees is making it a case to get Jerry Jeudy more involved in this offense. In Kevin Stefanski's last game calling plays, Jeudy didn't get a target until the fourth quarter when the game was completely out of reach. They targeted him early and often. Last week against the Jets, I think that's going to happen again against Baltimore. And Marlon Humphrey, their top cornerback, is out. So if anyone not named Dylan Gabriel is going to have an impact on the outcome of this game, give the Browns a chance, a slim chance, albeit, I think it's going to be Jerry Jeudy having a monster game.
Jason?
I actually think you could make the case that it's the tackles because they've been so bad, and it's been a big reason for the breakdown in protection. But I'll take the obvious low-hanging fruit and say Quinshon Judkins because he's been the only bright spot really on this offense. Fannin as well, I guess, if you want to talk about young players. But Judkins is the only – it's funny because you look at his average of 3.4 yards per carry. That's awful.
It is.
And yet –
that was just against the Jets. But overall for the season, it's not
It's
good
not
either.
much better.
No.
And there you go, for average, a four-yard average.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, but yet that's the thing that we are clinging to.
Yeah.
Because everybody, I think, feels and believes if he had any help around him whatsoever, he could be a great impact back in the NFL. So in a game like this, a divisional game, you would hope that they're going to run the ball. that they are going to try and establish the run, and he's the one guy that can help them do that. He's a presence at the goal line. He should be a factor at the goal line, hopefully, if they get to the goal line. So I'll take the easy answer in Quinshon.
A lot of times numbers tell the truth. Sometimes they lie. His yards per carry doesn't tell the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you watch Quinshon Judkins play, I believe he is second in the NFL in average yards after contact.
That's correct.
Which is, tells you how good he is. He's getting hit in the backfield constantly. You see it. There's the things you see, his vision, his ability to hit the hole, his ability to be patient. He looks to me like he's going to be a top 10 running back once they're good enough around him. And he's borderline that already. All right, my guy is going to be a guy you referenced, Harold Fannin Jr. He's had a really good season for a rookie, considering how bad the team is around him. That's his game last week, obviously 4 for 44. His stats for the season, pretty solid. I mean, he's on pace for...
Leads the team in receiving yards, by the way.
Yeah, he's on pace for about 650 for a rookie tight end on a terrible team. We've seen some breakout seasons from tight ends in recent years, but generally, it's rare to see a good season from a rookie tight end. It's even rarer to see it on a bad team. Now, 650 yards in the grand scheme of things, if he ends up around there, that's not a great number. But for a rookie tight end who's essentially the backup tight end on one of the worst offensive teams in football, again, it's another thing where if you've watched it, you get it.
You can see it.
The talent's there. He also, like Judkins, I'm saying Judkins can be a top 10 running back. Fannin could definitely be a top 10 tight end. We'll see. I know you said earlier in the YouTube show they should bring back David Njoku. We'll see if they do or not. But if they don't, I think Harold Fannin, with I hope better quarterback play next year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he were a 1,000-yard receiver in the next couple of years if the play gets better around him, especially a quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on who the head coach is, too. If Kevin's
No
still
doubt.
here, he will continue to run 2 tight end sets. If he's
Right.
not, you're probably moving on from Njoku and keeping Fannin.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But when we come back, can the Browns do anything to stop the high-powered Ravens offensive attack? That's next, right here on WKYC. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show here on WKYC and WKYC Plus. Guys, the Browns hope to stop the Ravens. The Browns' defense has been very good, but will it be good enough to stop the Ravens? Ravens scored a lot of points when the teams played the first time, but the defense played pretty well. There were turnovers that led to it. Lamar Jackson is back the last couple of weeks, but he hasn't been running in his typical fashion as he's coming back from injury. And Derrick Henry has struggled against the Browns. We'll get to that later. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. Do you feel like the Browns Myles Garrett has averaged about a sack per game against Lamar Jackson. Do we feel like the Browns' chances of slowing down Lamar are significantly better because of his injury, Jason?
Significantly better? No.
But better.
Better, sure.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the legs are a big part of his game, obviously, and just the threat. The threat of his mobility is what makes him so dangerous. But, I mean, Lamar has become a terrific passer these last few years. And can I say something mildly controversial, possibly, about the Browns' defense? It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
When they had to have a stop against Minnesota, did they get
right.
it?
No.
Nope.
When they had to have a stop against the Jets, did they get it?
No.
Nope.
No. So in the gotta-have-it moments, they haven't gotten it.
They did against Green Bay, to their credit.
They got the big turnover against
They did.
Green Bay at home. They did.
Yeah.
But it just, and I've mentioned this before on the show, teams know the Browns' offense is so bad, they're not going to put the ball in jeopardy.
Right.
And they're just going to let the Browns, they're going to wait
Except
for
for the Packers, who
Except for the
stupidly
Packers.
threw that ball in that situation.
But since then, we just haven't seen teams really put the ball in jeopardy.
Right.
You're just going to wait for the Browns to be the Browns. Because eventually the Browns are going to Browns, and then you're going to win the game. But when these opposing teams have had a gotta-have-it moment, they've gotten it against this defense. So, yeah, I fully expect Lamar to be able to do enough to win this game.
Now, you're right that offenses don't have to take a lot of chances, and that benefits the Browns. But it's also fair to say that because the Browns' offense is so bad, it can wear down the Browns' defense. But I agree. I think the Browns' defense is clearly very good. They're clearly, if they had a good offense, it would be good enough to be a playoff defense.
Yes,
Is
absolutely.
it some time an all-time great defense? Certainly not.
No.
Certainly not.
And we've seen Lamar over the last couple of years
Yeah.
become less and less of a scrambler and a better and better pocket passer. He's been, I mean, look at the numbers this year. 15 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's missed a couple of games. His quarterback rating, second best in football right now. In the last 2 games since he's been back, he's thrown for 5 touchdowns, only run for 50 yards. He's become capable of beating teams from the pocket if needed, while also having the threat of escaping. And I think the threat of him running is even more dangerous than him actually running himself at this point. I don't know how much of the Ravens you guys have watched. Lamar's still an incredible athlete. He's not Louisville Lamar anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's
Well, just because he's dealing with injury.
even early before the injury. I thought he was a little slower than he had been in the past. Still incredibly dangerous in the open field, but not that electric threat to take it 90 yards on any given chance. The thing with Lamar that makes him so dangerous is if you decide to play man and turn your back, he can gobble up 12 yards at a heartbeat and keep the chains moving. And that threat is more effective than some of their actual running plays.
Yeah.
So can Lamar beat the Browns with his arm? Yeah, he did it in the first game. Threw for 4 touchdowns, barely ran at all. But I do think it helps the Browns that he's a little hindered with the hamstring.
I think Lamar being a step slower is you're bat bleep crazy on that one.
Watch this week.
You know what Lamar's – well, this week because he's still coming off injury. Right now he's slower.
We'll go back and
but
watch.
You said beginning of the year.
Yeah,
you know
we'll
what
go back.
Lamar – forget the rushing touchdowns. Do you know what his touchdown to interception is since the start of last season? Take a guess. Passing touchdowns to interception.
19-1.
No, don't even – like how many total touchdowns, how many total interceptions?
Well, he's got 15-1 this year.
Yeah.
And last year he was like 40-4. So I'm going to say 55-5.
Missed it by 1. 56-5. 56 touchdowns and 5 picks.
That's incredible.
How many years do you have to go back to get 56 touchdowns from Browns quarterbacks?
Since
the last 4 years combined, maybe? No, probably not. Cause that run by Flacco, but
that was only a couple of games.
56 touchdowns and 5 picks since the start of last season. Not only is the touchdown number absurd.
The interception ratio.
Like he would throw earlier in his career, he wasn't a big interception guy, but he'd throw some 5 interceptions since the start of last year.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's nuts.
Incredible.
It's a great ability to protect the football and hold on to the football.
So, yes, he can beat teams with his arm. Like, yes. Anyone who says he
100%.
can't anymore, you're past the times.
Now, listen, Lamar's still got a lot to prove in the playoffs. He has not played great in the playoffs. He's had his moments. It's not been terrible all the time, but there's been, over the course, since he's come into the league, only Patrick Mahomes has been a better regular season quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall. He's been better than Allen. He's been better than Burrow. More consistent than those guys. I say he's been hurt, but Burrow's been hurt even more than him. Allen hasn't been hurt, but Allen's been a little more inconsistent in the regular season.
And this year he's taken a step down.
Yeah, he hasn't
Lamar,
played
I know he has
quite
been hurt,
as well.
but
So
still been
Lamar is phenomenal. He's got to get over the top in the playoffs, but
Yeah.
now it's going to be hard for the Browns to slow him down. Now, one guy they have been able to slow down is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, for the most part, with both the Titans and the Ravens, has not played well against the Browns. What's funny about that, guys, and I know the Browns' defense is good this year, and it was really good in 2023 also, but it's not like the Browns have this history of shutting down good backs.
No.
Right? But for some reason, Derrick Henry has not been good against the Browns. Now, some of this is misleading because, like the first game or two, I think he only had like 5 carries.
Yeah.
Early in his then on the other side, he had that one big game last year when the Browns were done.
Yep.
Whatever. But for the most part, he's been mediocre to bad against the Browns. What do you make of that? And can they keep it going?
I wish G. Bush was here to give us the defensive tackle, defensive end analysis that we simply cannot provide, considering none of us played at a high level at that position. But it feels like when the Browns have played the Titans or the Ravens in the last couple of years, they've been so quick off the line that they haven't let Derrick Henry get his feet going. I feel like he gets hit in the backfield.
Yeah.
I don't have the number to prove it, but I feel like he gets hit in the backfield more than half the time he's carried the ball against the Browns. And Derrick Henry, for as good as he's been in his career, and he's one of the best running backs the NFL's ever seen, isn't a great short yardage back because unless he gets going, he takes a little while to get up to full speed, and that's kind of been his biggest weakness. It's not a bad goal yardage.
I don't know that is he not a good short yardage back?
Traditionally speaking, no, he's
No?
he's actually not. The Titans actually went away from him for a couple of years as their primary short yardage back because he would get kind of hit right off the line of scrimmage. As soon as he opens up and gets in his gate, he's unstoppable, impossible to bring down.
Size,
But, I think the Browns did a really good job hitting him early, not letting him get going, because once he does, it's a runaway train.
Jason?
Yeah, they had short fields to operate with in the first meeting in September. They did a nice job of limiting him, I think, because the Browns' offense was so bad and put the defense in such awful spots. The Ravens were operating on a short field. There was no need to establish long drives. But also give credit to Jim Schwartz. I think that he has a pretty good understanding of how to key in on Henry on some of these. Schwartz did spend time in Tennessee when he was there, so I think he probably knows a little bit more about him. And credit to the Browns for getting that part right.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to figure out what to make of it and why they've had so much success. That being said, even though the Browns have had success against Derrick Henry, would it surprise anyone if Derrick Henry had a big game tomorrow?
No,
not even a little bit. No.
Right? Because he's that good a back.
If we come in Monday and Derrick Henry rushed for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Now, he, to me, looks like he's lost a half a step.
Well, I said that a couple years ago.
Even though I would.
And he just kept running. So
I mean, he's not having he's having he's not been as great this year.
And he's been fumbling this year, which is the one
which
unique
is weird.
Thing. Yeah, he's never been a fumbler in his entire career.
Fumbler, but yeah, I mean, listen, the guy's a great player. He could have a great game in this one, but
did you guys see that he finally surpassed his high school rushing yard total?
Oh yeah, right.
Finally.
What year is this for him in the NFL?
Year
crazy.
10.
That's crazy.
One of the
Imagine this guy in high school.
Did you see? Have you seen the highlights?
Yeah, it's insane.
Absurd.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane. All right, we still got plenty to do here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. When we come back, we're going to tell you what happens in Sunday's game before it happens. It's pre-written headlines coming up next on WKYC. All right, welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show here on WKYC Channel 3 and the WKYC Plus app. It is time, if you followed us before, you know what's coming. It's pre-written headlines. What's going to happen in Sunday's games before they happen? We will tell you, and we'll see if we end up being right or wrong. Let's start with mine, Anthony.
Here you go, Bull.
Gabriel instead of Gabriel. Gabriel. That's pushing it. Dylan Gabriel throws 2 picks and loses a fumble as Ravens take down the Browns 27-10.
The one thing he's done is take care of the football. Now you're taking that from him too.
Because the reality is he has had more turnover-worthy throws than almost any quarterback. He's been lucky.
He should have about 8 picks right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Ravens, what have they done recently? Forced turnovers.
Yeah.
They've been great at turning the ball over the last few weeks. I think it's a complete meltdown, and it leads to Shedeur being named the starter the following week against the Raiders.
It does feel like the Bill's coming due, and he's going to have a week of just massive turnovers because he's gotten away with it for so long.
many.
Yeah.
So many. Jason?
Oh, boy. I actually never even once considered for a second to pick the Browns this week.
Sad.
Bird droppings. Browns woes continue. Boo birds fly high. 24-13 loss to the Ravens. Yeah, I think this one, and I was being kind in the score. I think this one might get ugly.
It's a great graphic by
We had the same total score. I had 27-10. You had 24-13.
Yeah.
Do I have the cojones to pick the Browns?
No.
No, absolutely not. My headline's pretty similar to Jason's. The Boo Birds outshine the Dirty Birds. Ravens win easy, but the story of the game is the "We want Shedeur" chants that start before halftime. Unfortunately, guys, I think we all see this the same way. Whether it's fair or not to Dylan Gabriel, it is wrists up Shedeur time.
What's your score, Mike? You have no score on there.
Yeah, I just said win easy. I'll do 31-13.
All right. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, guys, I'm stealing Jay's headline for the week, but season spiral continues. Ravens clown Browns 28-10.
Oh, boy.
Even if I had time to make my own headline, I wasn't picking the Browns this week. Ravens are going to take it.
G. Bush also sent us in a headline.
Yeah.
G. Bush also picked the Ravens.
Clean sweep.
He's out for his birthday today, so happy birthday, G. Bush. But usually, this is good news for Browns fans. When we are all 5 in agreement, we're like 3-5 all time.
I don't believe that.
We have
I think
been-
you're making up that number.
The Packers game, we all picked the Packers. They won. Earlier in the season, we all picked – no, last year.
Yeah, we can't be any other game because we didn't all pick the Dolphins.
we
That was
definitely
only the
didn't.
win. We didn't pick.
In the past, it's
In the
tends to be
past,
true.
yeah, we have not been
We'll see
very
if-
correct.
we'll
There's
see
been a
if-
lot of games this year we've all picked the Browns to lose, and they've
And
lost.
been correct.
Well, those are the ones that we've gotten right,
right.
correctly, yes. But
Happy birthday to G. Bush. Happy birthday. His
To
birthday's
Earl.
today. Happy birthday to Earl. His birthday's Sunday. And again, best wishes and get well thoughts to to the great Bernie Kosar. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next week on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on WKYC.